Hello and welcome. My name is Melody from MelodyCrochet, and today we will be reviewing another yarn I'm very excited to share with you. We're going to be doing Lion Brand Woolies. This is my workhorse with a little wool. It's what I send when I need to send somebody something warm, but it needs to be machine washable and pretty durable. Now I'm wearing my shawl, which I made 3 years ago from Lion Brand Woolies in black, and it has held up so well. You might notice a little bit of lint, such. I threw it in the dryer before I put it on. It does, as any wool will, pick up some stuff and things from around the house, and I love it though. I could not, if I did not have this shawl and I lost this shawl, I'd make another one of this shawl exactly like it. So I'll link to the pattern down below too, just in case you're curious, because the Sunday shawl is probably one of my favorite patterns of all. It is a paid pattern. I've more than gotten my money worth out of it though, because I've made it into so many gifts, and I myself have 3 of them. I made a cotton one that I just love in the summertime to keep the sun off of me but still breathe. I think I need to make another one in lighter colors this year though, because I had a teal one. But forgive me, I digress. Let's get into this yarn review, and please let me know down below if there's any yarns you would like to see me review, and like and subscribe if you like yarny videos as this one, so I know to keep on track. I swatched, I've started a project, and I have my ball. Now, first things first, I like to read you guys the ball band, because sometimes you get conflicting information online, and usually the ball band is the best source to go to. Am I right? Now, Lion Brand Woolies. One more time. Hello. This is the Oxford Grey. And let's read. Okay, so this is worsted weight. They suggest a J hook, which I fully agree on. Or if you're going to be knitting, they suggest the size 8, is it? 5 millimeters? Yep, size 8. Now, it's 80% acrylic, 20% wool. So unfortunately, people who don't like wool, or if you're making something for a baby, probably not a great guess, because you really do not want to irritate anybody against them knowing that they're about to put wool on their body. So keep this for people that you know are good with wool, and for yourself, just in case. 197 yards or 180 meters for 3 ounces, which is also 85 grams. You can machine wash it up to 104 degrees, machine dry it, but don't dry clean it or iron it, because of that acrylic in there, it might melt. And it comes in about 21 beautiful colors. I'll show you the selection that they have at Michael's. I think that's just the best one. They have a few other different ones at lionbrand.com, but at Michael's it's $3.69, and you can pick it up in store if you purchase. And Lion Brand will have a bit of a shipping. So the economist in me says get it where it's $1 cheaper and you can pick it up for free. If you are hurting for it though, I'll link down below for Amazon, usually your best bet. Tracing the focus. And these are over at Michael's. You can see they have a beautiful range of brights. There are the nice neutrals there too. They have a couple of grays, a couple of white and cream, and my favorite is definitely their black. It's just such a gorgeous black. And like I said, I've machine washed and dried this so many times I can't even remember. And it has never even thought of fading. You have a little bit of fuzz, but with wool, I kind of like it. It goes for me. I don't have a problem with that. But you can always find a nice color or color combination. Just make sure you get enough, because the colors can change through the seasons. And I don't mean like your color lot will be a different color and you won't match. I mean your color can go away. So make sure that you get enough for your project, because I don't know about you, not all of us live in areas where we can wear wool year round. If I have an idea in March for something I want to wear that's woolly, I might realize as I start it that I would only have a couple more weeks with it when it's finished, and then put it off for a bit, and then my color can completely go away. Before you know it, I'm making hats out of the same color over and over again. Now, as I was saying, we've read the label, we've looked at the color range, which is pretty desirable in my opinion. The packaging. Pretty standard for yarn, but it does the job. It's not something that makes a big mess of itself. They tend to stay pretty neat and tidy, although, you know, it's pretty standard. I mean, we're not going to be writing home to anybody about how completely adorable the packaging is. But it does work. It is functional. It does get a little messy, but I abuse my yarn stash. Like these two that I used for the scarf, I kept them with me for probably a week and a half, 2 weeks before I started the scarf, just as inspiration to get through some hats that I had to knit and finish before I got to make the scarf. So these have been all over in a yarn bag without even being used. Now, splitty. No, I can't say as I've ever noticed splitting with this yarn. It is twisted. You can see, let's see if I can put that up there. You can see the twists on there. It's definitely not tightly spun, but I have yet to have an issue with this splitting. I use, for my swatch in this case, sorry about that, a J-hook, which is tulip size 10, 6mm. And it's my favorite hook, but I've used boy hooks, just the plain ones. I've also used my Clover Amours on this yarn, and I've never really noticed much in the way of splitting at all. Drapey. Not so drapey. We used a much bigger hook than suggested and a very long crochet stitch to make this shawl as drapey as it is. Otherwise it would be a little bit more undrapey. It's not particularly stiff, but I wouldn't call it drapey. This is on a J-hook, as all my worsted weight swatches always are, even though a lot of times on some of them I'll go down to an I hook. On this one I stay on J even when I'm working with it randomly, unless I want a really tight stitch. Is it shiny? Nope, we definitely have a bit of a halo matte situation going on here. Let's see here. There he is. I love that V-stitch. I don't know if all of you are familiar with my reviews, but I always do the same kind of a swatch. I start by chaining 21, then I do 3 rows of double crochet, 3 rows of half double crochet, 3 rows of single crochet, 3 rows of granny stitch, 3 rows of V-stitch, and then a little bit of a scallop right there. That way I can see both sides, how they would work up, if it's going to work out how I like them and how they play against each other in the row, or if I'm going to have to avoid working back and forth, and just how the stitch holds up in general. Like I can tell right here that I love the V-stitch in this yarn. So the granny, not as much. If I was going to use a granny stitch for this, I would definitely be changing color in between just to add some interest, because it kind of just goes away. Not a ton of stitch definition in that granny, but love that V-stitch, and that's why I do swatches. I always have. Size. It's very true to size for a worsted weight yarn, although it is a bit smooshy, so you see through it just a little bit more. And by smooshy, I just mean it compacts down more than some acrylics would, because of that loft that you get from the wool, and because it's not as tightly twisted. So it is the same size, but it's a little loftier and fluffier than some other yarns, in my opinion. And is it squeaky? I get no hook squeak from this yarn. Even when I use another kind of hook, maybe something. I wouldn't use bamboo. I would almost feel like it would catch on bamboo. But as far as my regular boy aluminum hooks that don't have the brushed finish, I have no problem working with that. I think that wool just takes away the hook squeak just a little bit. Is it awesome? So in overall, in my opinion, I love Lion Brand woolies, and I get really excited when I find it in new colors because I think, ooh, what can I wrap around myself in this yarn? So that's my position on it, but you probably sense that from the get-go that I like this yarn, and that's why I was so eager to share it with you guys. And one last question, is it stretchy? And let's see here. It is a little springy, but not terribly. I don't get the sense of elasticity. It's just the loft in it kind of twists and untwists on itself, so that will make a nice stitch. I think that's where it gets its nice stitch definition, because you crochet with it and then it kind of springs forth and fills up the stitch and makes it absolutely lofty and beautiful. One last look before I say goodbye. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you have any yarns that you'd like to see me test out in my little swatch process, I would love to talk about any of them with you. Just leave those down below or over on social media. Hope you have a great day and take good care. Bye-bye.